Okay.
What? Don't want the phone ringing.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll do that too. We're recording, by the way.
Oh, sorry. You want me to stop and start again?
No, it's okay. I'm good. If I don't like it, I'll edit it down.
Okay. I don't want you
anyway.
to have too much editing.
I didn't edit the last one at all, so.
Okay. Well, you may want to edit it.
Anyway, hello. I am formerly Dapper Dave, also known as Josh, who does the Too Good to Lasts.
I'm Zach. I'm his friend who was mouthing no during the Star Trek movie.
We're not talking about Star Trek.
No, but that way they know kind of who I am.
I did the vlog. If they watch
the vlog. But if they didn't watch that vlog, I don't know why they're watching this vlog.
That's a good point. Too Good to Last is going to be late because I'm doing an internship thing and I'm working on a few other projects. So I'm going to do another vlog, this time talking about Doctor Who, which is why I'm wearing my Doctor Who t-shirt.
Yes.
You're not, but that's
no.
Okay. Although we're not talking about Star Trek. We're not going to get into Star Trek. I didn't like it. He didn't like it. That's the short version.
Yes.
So, but the new season of Doctor Who concluded, and this is kind of an interesting, I think, dichotomy. I got started on the new Who, and moved into the old series, largely thanks to my friend here, who was who helped me get into Doctor Who.
With the best description ever.
Yes. An alien man in a phone box battles walking trash cans, and none of it means anything.
I think it was a little better than that, but I can't remember.
I might be paraphrasing.
Yes.
And you got started on Classic Who and moved into New Who, right?
Yes, mainly through the reruns shown on PBS. So when I started, it was a lot of Tom Baker.
Yeah.
I've since watched more Classic Who, but that's how I started.
You're more of a Davidson fan now, aren't you? I forget.
Davidson, First Doctor, and can't remember his name. Guy before the movie.
McCoy.
Yeah, McCoy. Sylvester McCoy.
I'm a big Troughton fan personally, which means I like Matt Smith a lot because he's very much like Troughton. And that's who we're talking about. Yay! Segue. Is that a segue?
Well,
I don't know.
That segue is on two wheels, but
yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna have notes up. I might bring up a list of the episodes because now something that new Doctor Who does that I'm personally not a big fan of, other people I've heard have defended it, is they've split the season into two parts. We had Season 7 Part 1, which ended at the end of last year, and we recently came out of Part 2 with The Name of the Doctor.
BBC makes more money this way, though.
You found, like, the DVDs at Target for Part 2 already. I find that incredible.
Some people got them shipped by accident before the last episode aired. So, I'm not that lucky.
BBC, like, it's not even like we wait anymore for it to come over here. We're 3 hours behind BBC.
Yeah, we probably got the DVD right when they did.
Yeah, like, how... Do they just stand by, okay, the episode's aired, move the DVDs, Anyway, I guess first, general thoughts on Season 7. I liked it, but I wasn't... Season 5, I think, is currently the best season of New Who. That's my personal favorite.
Yeah, I have some soft feelings for some parts of Season 1.
I like Season 1, too. Season 1's pretty good.
Season 5 was good, mainly before we got into one of my big problems with Stephen Moffat. They aren't that big, the problems, but mainly one of my big problems with Stephen Moffat, that I'll just get out of the way right now, is he likes to not answer any questions.
Yes, and he's continuing not to do that.
Yes,
with
but
this season.
we're just overviewing right now, I just have to get that out of the way. Season 5, it wasn't that bad. At this point, it's bad.
Well, Season 5, that was like a novelty, because before that, all the seasons were very self-contained.
Yes.
Like, there was, this is the problem, and we go through the season, and then at the end we solve the problem.
And at this point, we realize that Stephen Moffat just keeps all the secrets under his bed, locked up.
I find it amazing you think he even has, like, the answers anymore. Like, he's just gonna troll us till the end of the earth. Just...
Yes.
And now I'm gone.
And my views on Season 7, the first part, I was immediately thrown off by, when we started, when the Daleks got Parliament.
You did have a problem
And
with
this
that.
is where, when we're discussing Doctor Who now, I'm going to try not to get into continuity. What else? Because if we get into continuity, even within Stephen Moffat's reign, we'll be here all day. So
Now, you see, I like mentioning continuity.
yeah, but if we bring up continuity, I'm going to bring up old Who continuity and just throw everything out the window. So continuity is not... We'll try not to discuss it. It's probably going to come up in the Name of the Doctor because they did that. So
yeah,
we'll keep it to a minimum. Anyway, Dalek Parliament, and then...
Well, you had issues with that whole episode. The asylums of the Daleks, as I recall.
Yeah, it didn't make sense from any version of the Daleks we've ever seen that they would have an asylum for crazy Daleks, and
Parliament.
A parliament, and then the asylum itself didn't make sense. They tried to explain it, but it just doesn't fit in with who the Daleks are.
Now, you see, I see your point. I actually liked that episode.
I know you did.
First of all, I thought it was cool that we got to see the old Daleks again. Because I did miss them. I do admit, though, you do have a lot of points that the Daleks were behaving very un-Dalek-like in that episode.
And also, the Daleks... I just said I wasn't going to get into continuity.
Word of warning. Spoilers!
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be spoiling the whole season. If you're in the middle of it, don't watch.
Though, you could just go to Target and buy it, so there's no issue about waiting for it to come out.
Yeah, you don't even need to wait for Netflix. Just go to Target.
It was on sale when I found it, so, you could get lucky.
It's on sale already. This is so bizarre. You know what it is? It's probably like that's what it actually is supposed to cost, and then when it goes off sale, it's going to be the BBC's heightened prices.
Yeah.
BBC charges you through the nose for their shit.
Oh, yeah. But, anyway, I just said I wasn't going to do continuity, and the Daleks would never call on the Doctor for help. The one time that it happened with the Movellans, that was more Davros, and that was... The Movellans were going for the Doctor for help, not the Daleks, and I just brought the Movellans in.
We've officially lost the new Who fans. I don't even remember. The Movellans were the good. Well,
no,
not the good, but like the.
They were humanoid robots
during the Dalek War, right?
Was one of the Dalek Wars, and this could be a Dalek War that got retconned. So just forget
possible.
about
like,
it.
There could be factions.
Anyway, forget what I just said.
Even it breaks continuity on their own Daleks. Like, just the fact that they would have an asylum for Daleks who are too brutal and killing.
There's no such thing as too brutal a Dalek, unless it's deranged and actually killing other Daleks, in which case they wouldn't keep that alive. It's not...
No, they would just kill that.
They would kill a rogue Dalek. So either it's fine and it works, or it doesn't and it's dead.
That also brings up another point. Like, they wouldn't keep Daleks who do not behave in a manner that is Dalek.
Right.
Because their viewpoint is, if it's not Dalek to the highest point of Dalek, it is dead. Like, they even brought that up in Daleks in Manhattan. And now I'm defending Daleks in Manhattan.
I was going to say it was brought up in the episode Dalek really well.
Yeah, that's a better example. I defend that. I don't defend Daleks in Manhattan.
The Dalek there, when it realized that it was no longer pure.
Yeah, and it killed itself, yeah. That was a better episode. Thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was one episode. That was very early on.
And then I pretty much stopped watching for the rest of the first half of Season 7. I saw some of them. Nothing was too great shakes for me, so I just kind of ignored it. So this is more on
Okay.
him.
The only 2 episodes of part 1 of season 7 that that really left an impact on me, and they were not necessarily good impacts, was The Power of Three and Angels in Manhattan. And I actually want to talk about the Angels for a little bit, if you don't mind getting into that. I have a sort of weirdly taboo opinion on the Angels, in that I like them as villains, but when they first appeared in Blink, I didn't find them scary. I thought they were creepy, but I never thought they were really scary. I never viewed them as a serious threat to the Doctor in the same way of, like, the gas mask children freaked me the hell out.
Right. Now, the cool thing about them in Blink is it allowed for the playing with time, which I especially... It's not a scary episode per se. It's actually a really kind of neat episode and kind of sad when you think about that cop from Blink.
Yeah, no.
The cop story actually made me tear up in Blink.
Like, I like Blink. It's a fun episode. It's got a lot of good things going for it. Everyone wanted to see the Angels again, and they came back as villains, and everyone was talking about how scary an episode it was. Like, when I was getting to it, everyone was like, oh my god, don't watch it at night, you're gonna...
Admittedly, you have to think about what type of Doctor Who was surrounding it at the time. And compared to the stuff surrounding it, this was pretty scary Doctor Who.
Yeah. Well, no, season 3, they had the Scarecrow people. They were fairly creepy. Like, compared to the Ood in the Satan Pit.
Yeah, we aren't... Let's get back. So the next appearance, we're talking Silence in the Library, and...
Angels weren't in Silence in the Library.
That was the... Sorry,
Time of Angels.
Time of Angels and whatever. I'm sorry.
I forget the second part of that episode, too.
Like,
I remember
Octavian Kicks Ass. That was part 2.
Yeah, you like Octavian. That was when the Angels got scary for me. That's when I started viewing them as, like, real monsters who could really, like, if you met one, you would piss yourself with those.
Image of it... Well, because these angels weren't sending you back in time. They were snapping your neck.
Well, and also beyond that, they got in your fucking heads.
Yes.
Like what they did.
And not even with discounting what they did with Amy, how they used the voice of the dead cleric soldier guy to get in the Doctor, to try and mess with the Doctor mentally.
Those angels were messed up.
Yeah.
Like they really did mess with you, and that's why I liked, and that's why I was hoping to see in the Angels, was it the Angels in New York, or what was the episode called? I think it's Angels in Manhattan, actually. You
just want to associate it with dialect.
I think that's its actual name. Hold on.
Yeah, it's okay. Keep talking.
Anyway, Angels, whatever. That's what I was hoping for. I really didn't like the Angels in that episode. I thought they were really silly. I'm not sure. Did you end up seeing that one?
I saw bits of it. From what I know, we're back to the Angels using their time powers, which immediately takes away part of their
creep factor, but they could still use it to be cool. And they do kind of use it to be sad again. Like, the idea now is the Angels own an apartment building. Which already, like...
Well, you know, you have bad landlords, and you have statues.
You have bad landlords, and then you have statues who keep you trapped in your room and suck your life away.
Here's the question. How does an angel go through acquiring property? I never saw the episode. Did they explain that?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't remember.
I'm just trying to imagine, because they can't move when you can see them, so that they have to go through a blind real estate agent.
They had, like, a mobster guy. I think they went through him, but I might be misremembering.
Okay, whatever.
This was a while ago.
Whatever, so get on with it.
But the thing that really, about those angels that was really silly, Statue of Liberty Angel.
Well, anything that takes the image of an angel can become an angel.
Yeah, but it can only move when no one's looking at it. You mean to tell me that there's a time when no one is seeing the Statue of Liberty? No one. There's not one person in all of New York who sees the Statue of Liberty at that moment.
It's very cloudy.
I don't care! It's the Statue of Liberty!
It's very cloudy.
Like, one of the most prominent parts of New York...
All the security guards are dead.
What security? People on the street!
No, they're all inside sleeping.
It's New York! Its name is the city that never sleeps!
Very foggy. I don't know.
Anyway, you didn't see this episode, so I'm
Yes.
going to get off it. It was sad when Amy and Rory left. I like Amy and Rory as companions. Then we got the new companion, Clara. I think instead of going from episode to episode, let's talk about like some of the larger parts of. We're going to talk, I think, more about part 2 than part 1.
Yes.
Since
that's where the plot actually starts to kick in.
Yeah, the part 1 was really just about like, and now we're reaching the end of the Amy and Rory story. Oh wait, I wanted to talk about Power of 3.
Okay.
I don't think you saw it. Here's all I want to say about Power of 3. Just real quick. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, it's okay.
Just real quick. Power of 3 was not an especially good episode, largely because of the ending, but I think it brought up a way to move Amy and Rory out of Doctor Who that I thought would have been more interesting. In that episode's really about Amy and Rory finding a life outside the Doctor and like slowly weaning themselves off of the Doctor's adventures. And I think that would have been a more touching, more thought-provoking way to remove them.
Kind of more like the Ian and Barbara method.
Yeah, except Ian and Barbara, like, they never really liked the Doctor. They just...
No, they just... But I love the first Doctor. He's such a grumpy old man. I'm sorry. Anyway, totally... anyway.
I moved the camera closer.
Yes, I see that. Now, when getting on to the new companion, just one thing I want to get out of the way, first off. Way to take the way they were introducing Clara, and the way that they settled her. Why did she have to be from modern day? Why did we have to have a modern day companion? That's all I have to say, because of what is, she could have been from any time, and they made her a modern day companion. That's all I'm saying.
Because it's New Who, and all the companions are modern day.
I know, but we had an opportunity here.
I know, but they're all from modern day.
Anyway, I know.
One day we will get back.
I just get it? I just want to get it off my chest. It was
no,
there.
You're right. That they could have done something new. They didn't.
I mean, we thought that was going to happen in The Snowman, and it didn't.
No. Incidentally, what'd you think of the Snowman? Because I kind of like that episode.
Yeah, it was okay.
Again, it's not a Christmas Carol, which I think is probably the best of the Christmas episodes, which really isn't saying that much. The Christmas episodes aren't very good. Most of the time. Most of them are not very good.
The sheer craziness of the tree people and was kind of weird, but not particularly good.
Fucking Titanic.
Though David Tennant's speech to the Sycorax was pretty good. The rest of the episode sucked, but his speech to the Sycorax was pretty decent.
Well, and I think Diamanda Hagen brought this up. It doesn't mean anything to them.
No, it doesn't.
Like, he just lists off these number of titles for the audience, but it doesn't mean anything to the people on the boat.
No. But it's still cool.
Well, he's David Tennant, and he gets an awesome speech in every episode,
no
matter how terrible it is. Or if it's an especially good episode, he gets a really bad speech.
He didn't get a speech in Unicorn and the Wasp.
Well, no, but then he got to do the whole, like, here's what happened.
True. Bit. Anyway, off with David Tennant.
Yeah, we're not talking about David Tennant.
Yeah, The Snowman, it was what it was. The big thing we got from that episode is the new TARDIS design.
You just want me to talk about that.
Well, it's the elephant in the room.
Okay, we're going to get to this. I hate the new TARDIS, largely because I loved the old TARDIS so much. Like, the most...
Matt Smith's
first TARDIS, I loved that TARDIS. Because it had
It was the Tinkerer's dream.
It had a steampunky look to it, but it was also cluttered and chaotic. And I get that they wanted to clean it up so that they can show him as a more mature Doctor now.
But while it was cluttered and chaotic, he knew where everything was. He always seemed to know when he was moving around it. He never was lost.
Yeah, no. It was like looking inside the brain of the Doctor, I felt.
Yeah.
And
now he's put chrome all over it.
Fucking chrome! Okay, for people who don't know, I have a real issue with Chrome TARDIS. Because, in my opinion, it's a completely alien device. It should have, and it's a living ship, in addition to just being a completely alien ship that's not like anything from Earth. So it should look like something alien and semi-living, I think. Or if not living, then old. It shouldn't look like a ship. And now it does. And I hate that. It
I
Chrome!
don't know what, and I forget what you said. I personally, I agree with what you're saying there. I kind of like the white TARDIS from the original series. Even though it doesn't always have what you're saying, I kind of like, because it doesn't feel like a traditional ship with the thing in the center and the rotor, and it does feel slightly different, but I do kind of have an attachment to the white room.
I can understand that. I'm not personally fond of it, but I like it better than this. Because at least then it looks like something that at the time they could have viewed as an alien ship. And it has a coat rack, which I like.
Yeah.
For some reason, a coat rack, I think, makes it look more like a living room, which I kind of find interesting.
Well, it implies that maybe the Doctor will take off his jacket at some point.
Yeah. But this new thing, it reminds me of new Star Trek, which I know we're not talking about, but now we are.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
My point is I don't like it.
Yes.
And we saw more of it in Journey to the center of the TARDIS, which incidentally, I thought that was probably the weakest episode this season.
In 7 Part 2. Or 7.
I would actually say all of 7, probably. Although I remember that one, and I don't remember large chunks of Part 1, so...
Here's the problem with Season 7 overall. A lot of it seems to be forgettable filler.
Yeah, like, Season 6 even didn't feel like... Season 6 was probably, like, a lot of filler.
But
even
at least
then,
it felt like more was happening.
It felt like more was happening. It felt like we had more subplots. We had more going on. Here, it feels very disjointed. And I think that means a lot of it feels like filler. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Doctor Who's been filler for most of its run. Really.
Yeah.
But given that now we have this overarching myth arc, with all of these different storylines, I would kind of like to see them come into play now.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to that point, Stephen. And I think you agree with that, yes?
Yes.
That's all you have to say?
Yeah. What?
Okay. Well, while we're talking about new stuff in the TARDIS, there are a few new things that I do like.
Okay.
One, I like the Doctor's new outfit, where it's basically the old one, but it's got a more darker, sleeker look to it, which I think kind of gives... I like little things that give the idea that this is a new era coming. Now that we're out of the Amy, Rory era, we're into the later 11th Doctor era.
And supposedly him going incognito more era.
Yeah, and I like the hat from the Snowmen.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Doctor to wear hats again. I miss the hats.
What, do you want him offering people candy as well?
It wouldn't hurt. But just, like, hats used to be such a big part of who the Doctor was. Patrick Troughton didn't always wear a hat, but when he did, it was a very Patrick Troughton-y hat.
Right.
Tom Baker always had the hat. Sylvester McCoy always had the hat. Peter Davidson sometimes had a hat.
I think Hartnell wore a hat at least once.
And I'm not sure. Pertwee wore a hat a couple times because he was very foppish and
Yes.
looked like that. But since New Who, no hats, and I want hats.
No, we get Fez, he gets shot to pieces. We get Stetson, it gets shot.
We get a top hat, it just gets completely lost.
Well, that was part of a suit and a cane.
I liked that. No. In the Christmas episode,
Oh,
got
yes.
the sort of Dickensian
Yes.
top hat, which I liked. I like the hats.
But more so, what I did know in G7 Part 2, he's got more of his... Matt Smith has always been very flamboyant with his actions as the Doctor, but more so in Series 7, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. He moves around more.
I don't know. I feel like if anything, he's actually become more subdued. But maybe that's just me, like getting lost in the hat.
Yes. Which
hats make you look more subdued and eloquent.
And briefly, I want to touch on the episode, and let's discuss this episode, and then we'll move on. The Silver Menace, or whatever it was
Silver
called.
Nightmare.
Yeah, Menace.
Okay. I'm very, very conflicted about this episode. Because...
First of all, we have kids.
And my God, are these kids annoying. Actually, the boy's not that bad. The boy's not that bad.
And
the girl needs to die.
And you know what? I think on some level, someone knew this because the kids do spend a good half of the episode as mindless robots.
That's their one episode. That's their one episode. You'll note they were pretty much gone in every other episode.
Yes.
Here, it's their one appearance, and like halfway through...
And what we get here is an issue I have, because this is the episode right before the finale. And we have the cyber leader, Mr. Clever. I'll get over the name in a minute.
I liked Mr. Clever.
Getting into the Doctor's head. And now, he's in the Doctor's head, but he's not... Okay, you have to think it's a Cyberman, and I'm going to get into what they did to the Cyberman in a minute, exactly what they did to the Cyberman. But,
You're upset about this.
Mr. Clever gets into the Doctor's head, but he doesn't, and he's trying to use Claire against the Doctor. He's not using any of the things like the Valyard or past things the Doctor's done, trying to use his motives.
First of all, Claire wouldn't know about that.
Well, yeah, but he has half the Doctor's head. He must have some access to things that have happened in the Doctor's past.
Well, yeah.
And he's trying to wear down the Doctor, not just Clara, so he
he does refer to other past stuff. Like, I'm assuming the darker stuff the Doctor's going to lock away.
Fair enough. Also, while it is a nice throwback to the gold, I don't remember any time that was it was usually gold dust.
Well, also, and the Last Angry Geek brought this up in his review of the episode. The gold dust affected the biological parts merging with the cybernetic parts, which doesn't really work on this Cyberman because the mergers, like it's really more just like a computer lodged in its brain. A single gold ticket wouldn't do that.
Right, but
other
than that, okay. Here is one of my issues with the episode.
We're going to get back into Star Trek, aren't we?
You know what I'm going to say. You know what
I know exactly what you're going to say.
The Cybermen are the Borg.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the Borg started out as like a copy of the Cybermen.
Well, because
but now they're completely
the Cybermen have a phrase now. It used to be, it was, you will be upgraded. Now it's upgrading, which, you will be upgraded sounded an awful lot like you will be assimilated anyway.
Well, they're in the new Who, they had the catchphrase delete.
Yeah. Well, that's just trying to make them sound like the dialects. But part of the reason I may be harsher on this is because you expect something from Neil Gaiman. Also, what I will say, this planet, this Abandoned Carnival, looks kind of like the last planet from the last Neil Gaiman written episode. It looks.
I didn't get that at all. I didn't get that at all.
Oh, maybe I'm just.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
Like it looked like an abandoned jump It like all Stephen Moffat future desolate worlds have like this sort of strange
fair
thing
enough.
Where everyone dresses like it's the 1800s even though it's the distant future. Because
also, why the hell is the Emperor working for a random guy?
Well, he was running away, so he was hiding out.
Okay.
I want to say something though in relation to the Cybermen as the Borg, and in relation to Neil Gaiman. I still want Neil Gaiman to be... Like, when Russell T. Davies was the head writer, I looked forward to the Stephen Moffat episodes because Stephen Moffat brought out the best of the Russell T Davies era. I think I'm right in saying that.
Okay.
And I want Neil Gaiman to be that for Stephen Moffat because the Doctor's Wife was so good.
What I will say about this episode, it was interesting to see a thread that was on such a level that the only option was to blow up a planet.
Yeah, I like that. But here's something else I want to say in relation to where they succeeded and where they failed with the Cybermen. According to interviews, Neil Gaiman was talking to Stephen Moffat. Unlike last time, Stephen Moffat apparently hired Neil Gaiman to write a Cybermen episode. It wasn't like Neil Gaiman brought this idea for an episode to Stephen Moffat, which allegedly is what happened in The Doctor's Wife. I don't know.
Okay.
And the pitch was he wanted Neil Gaiman to make the Cybermen scary again. Because I think we can agree, aside from maybe their first episode, the Cybermen have really been kind of a joke in New Who.
Okay, I'm sorry, for a second there, I thought you were talking about their original episode.
No.
And I was going to say, the Cybermen were never really scary in original Who. They were just...
Well, the Cybermen got scary in New Who.
Well, in original Who.
In original Who, they crushed the man's hands.
Well, they did eventually once but what I did, Cybermites.
Cybermites were freaky.
Yes.
Those were cool. But here's the thing. I feel like they succeeded in making the Cybermen scarier than they were. The problem is they did it by making them not Cybermen anymore.
Yes.
Now
they
are
are.
Borg.
Yes. Cybermen. I will say this: a Cyberman flipping its head around freaked me out when it happened in the episode.
Yeah, like they're creepier now, but they're still not Cybermen. The Last Angry Geek, who's a big Cyberman fan. I don't know him personally, but this is what he's said in his videos. Mm-hmm. Last Angry Geek, if you watch, call me. We'll discuss. We'll do lunch. Anyway, he said that he's a big Cyberman fan, and he got pissed off because they're not the Borg. And I'm not a big Cyberman fan. I will admit, I like certain episodes. They're not one of my favorite villains, even in classic Who. But what it kind of reminds me of is when the new Master came out. And, okay, I'm going to get into David Tennant a little bit.
Now, hold on a second. Okay, let's see where you go here, because comparing anything to that is... First, I just have to... Both of us, big Delgado fans.
Roger Delgado's my favorite Master, and the Master's my favorite Doctor Who villain.
So I'm just getting that out of the way right now, so you know where we're coming from when we bring up that blonde guy.
I'm not even a big John Pertwee fan, but I love that era just because of Roger Delgado.
Come on, he has the cape.
I don't hate John Pertwee. He's just not one of my favorites.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not Troughton for me or McCoy or.
But no matter, you have to love. I can't remember his name. This is
the Brigadier.
The Brigadier.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Thank you. The
If
Brigadier and the Master made that era.
If anything, John Pertwee's era rocks so hard because he had the best villains and the best supporting cast. Yeah, that was great. Everything around that Doctor was great. I'm just not a big fan.
Yes,
of him.
I'm trying to bring up the unit
Anyway.
time. Anyway, unit.
We're big fans of Roger Delgado. Roger Delgado was, I think, like the first the first Master I saw. Because after I got into Roger Delgado as the Doctor, that'd be cool. Anyway, it'd be physically impossible, but still.
Well, I'm just picturing it would be impossible. He'd be a great Valyard.
Ooh, he would have been a great Valyard.
Anyway, off of daydreaming.
He was my favorite villain. I saw him right before I got to like halfway through season 3. And then season 3 happened. I hate John Sims. And I know you do too.
I thought he was okay in Life on Mars.
Yeah, but in Doctor Who.
Yes.
I haven't seen him in anything else, so I can't judge.
And
I'm told I should watch Life on Mars. I've never been able to.
Anyway, first of all, we have Derek Jacobi, a Shakespearean-trained actor, showing up as...
He was great. He was a good Master for his 5 minutes as the Master.
To one.
2 minutes as the master.
But no, he then decides to regenerate, and he becomes blonde idiot.
Idiot's too good. He's like a hyperactive 8-year-old pretending to be the master, and I hated him because he's not the master at all.
No, he's
in
driven
any
crazy
way.
by the Trump beat in his head.
We are not getting into the end of time. That would be an entirely different video, and it would just be me. It would be me doing the no thing that you were doing.
Yes.
Anyway, I had a point.
Yes.
My point is, though, when I talk to people about the Master, who've only seen New who only know that Master, they like that Master a lot. They think he's a very compelling character. I disagree, but I'm worried that that's what's going to become the thing with the Cybermen, because I think if you don't know classic Cybermen, these new Cybermen are finally scary Cybermen. Even though they're not Cybermen at all.
I know, but the Cybermen even got lost in the classic series. I mean, it was a little silly when we have the Cybermen going off to destroy the Gold Planet.
Yeah, it got silly. But then they brought him back with the hand crushing.
Yes.
And I think that was
crushing.
I think that was Earthshock. And they killed Adric.
Yes, and I don't care what you say, Adric was a better companion than a whole bunch of New Who companions. And I know I've got outcry there, but I don't care.
Especially Rose.
Yes.
I just want to make that pointed so the Rose fans know who to hate. Hate me, I hate Rose. And I'm very angry that she's going to be in the 50th anniversary special.
Which, we're going to get to the name of the Doctor at some point.
Okay. Something I wanted to talk about. Going back to talking vaguely about things that I liked about this season.
Strax?
I like Strax. I do like Strax. But we'll get to him.
Okay.
The opening theme.
Yes.
I love this new opening theme.
I like that we no longer have Amy doing a voiceover.
Yeah, that was annoying. So I'm not sure if they did that in the BBC or not. They have it on the Netflix. I was watching Netflix season 6, and they do it there.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why.
It's kind of annoying. You have to sit through Amy talking about her imaginary friend, and you're kind of like, I just want to watch the episode.
And it puts too much focus on Amy. Amy's a major character, but it's called Doctor Who.
I want to see a Doctor voiceover for the episodes. I saw a box once.
It's never going to happen.
I know. And now I'm traveling through time and space.
But I like the song. I think it's the same song since season 5, and I've liked
It's been
this.
cut down a little in this. It's shorter than it was.
Maybe it is. It might be shorter than it was, but I like the new theme that they had since Matt Smith took over. I thought they took the best parts of the Murray Gold theme and alienated it. I think this is still Murray Gold though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're going on the same music guy, and he's still doing okay. The music is still pretty good.
Murray Gold's still great when he's great, and he's awful when he's awful.
Yeah.
It's a real mixed bag with Murray Gold.
Yeah, but it's TV music. You take what you can get.
One thing I will say, Murray Gold takes TV music and makes it epic. Sometimes it's stupid epic, but it's always epic.
Yes, and in fact, the epicosity of his music really comes out in the name of the Doctor, but we'll get to that.
I don't remember his music in that episode.
Mainly at the very end. The music stings at the very end. Yeah. You gotta remember the music there. It's all that's happening.
But really what I like about this new theme is the visual aspect. I personally didn't really like the storm tunnel. Because the TARDIS, I feel like, should be moving through something sort of very spacey and alien and sort of weird looking.
Yes.
And now we've got that! Except without the TARDIS, so it's even better.
And no Doctor's face.
Well, now the Doctor's face is back. I missed the Doctor's face in the thing. Even when it's been creepy, I've always liked the Doctor's face.
But Tom Baker always looks like he's about to eat you, so that's fine.
I was actually thinking of Sylvester McCoy when they decided to have it wink at you.
Well, yes, but come on, Tom Baker always looks like he's about to eat you.
Well, no, in the opening he always had that.
Yes. Well, he just ate someone.
For someone who got started on Tom Baker, you're really afraid of Tom Baker.
Go back and watch, especially when he offers someone's a jelly. Would you like a jelly, baby?
That's actually probably one of your better impressions. I shouldn't have told you that. Now you're going to do it all the time. Anyway,
Yes.
but here's why I like the Doctor's face in the theme.
Yes.
Is I'm thinking ahead. If this show is still around 50 years from now, and it probably will be, at least in reruns, because it's a different Doctor every time. Let's say you're watching it for the first time. You're probably gonna know that there's a character named the Doctor. You're not gonna know who it is. Oh, it's that guy.
Yes, let me look for that face in the episode.
Yeah. Now, like you have a grounding. You know where you can figure out things around that, and I like that. And I like how they even do the face. It's not like blunt. It's not like, and here's the Doctor's face. It's hidden in the background, so you can vaguely see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. But the last new thing that I think we need to talk about is Clara herself, who we sort of started talking about.
Mainly because to talk about her, we have to get into the name of the Doctor. Eventually.
Yeah, well, just generally, I want to say she's not awful.
No, on a ranking, she's better than Martha.
Better than Martha, better than Rose.
I don't know if she's better than the horse.
The horse was awesome.
Yeah.
She's better than that guy.
By the way, it's the horse from the...
Girl in the Fireplace?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want you to know where the horse came from in case you're confused. Technically,
what's a horse doing on a spaceship? Mickey, what's 17th century France doing on a spaceship?
And
Have
technically,
priorities.
the horse was on the TARDIS. Technically, that makes it a companion, kinda, sorta.
She's definitely better than Hole and Head Guy.
That goes without saying. Hole and Head Guy is worse than Martha.
Yeah, but not worse than Rose.
No.
My personal favorite companion, New Who only favorite companion is Donna. Donna's my personal favorite.
Jack's kind of cool.
Jack's kind of cool. Amy and Rory were cool.
River Song, depending on where you put her. I know you have issues with River Song. So
River Song is gone, and I don't really miss her.
Yes, but we're gonna have to talk about her when we get to the name of the Doctor.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I'll be saying goodbye, so I'm happy.
Maybe.
They seem pretty definitively getting rid of her.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
It's
like my Star Trek review again. We'll get to that.
The issue with Clara is she kept popping up.
Well,
and then
no,
we get to her, and first of all, we've already had this. The her we pick is from modern day, and now we're off that again. I have to bring that up again because it's there. It's like the elephant.
Well, apparently there was a Time Lord her at one point.
We're getting into that, and technically she could have been a Gallifreyan. That doesn't mean she was a Time Lord. Why she would be near TARDIS
is... New Who continuity, all Gallifreyans.
No, I don't care. Screw we're going with old continuity because I can't deal with this, and we're back anyway.
But before we get too far into the name of the Doctor,
I'm bringing us back.
Okay.
Because you're the one who tried to drag us there.
I'm setting up for future events.
I forget
Stephen
where
Moffat.
I was now. Thank you, Stephen Moffat. Where was I?
Her from present day.
Yes, and okay. First of all, the kids that she's being a nanny to are super annoying.
They're annoying.
I want to bring up a little issue I had. At the end of the Crimson Horror, they've somehow found a bunch of pictures of her, and how exactly did they find these pictures? What did they search? I mean, it kind of was weird when the guy back in Rose had all those pictures of the Doctor and just that one
Well,
Doctor.
he was looking for years, studying the Doctor for reasons.
And he only found one Doctor, which is...
Well, no. In Rose, he only showed one picture of the Doctor, but he mentioned that, like, we keep hearing this name passed down from different people, we assume from father to son.
Right.
So that was an indication of the regenerations and a noting of the past Doctors.
Okay. But in these two kids apparently found pictures of their nanny from times in the past, just randomly.
And I would like to note, they use that to make the lamest threat ever. If you don't take us with you, we're going to tell our daddy that you're a time traveler. Okay! Go ahead, see how far you get with that! Daddy, look at these pictures. You think I don't know what Photoshop is, you dumb bitch? Yes, her father would call her a dumb bitch, because that's how annoying she is.
Yeah. They were annoying. And we had Emperor who, yeah, he...
I like the Emperor.
Yeah.
Largely, I like... Since Peter Dinklage on Game of Thrones, I like seeing little people in roles that aren't just like,
yes.
Oh, and here's a short person, let's make jokes.
And it was a kind of Neil Gaiman thing to make it seem like it was going to be that type of role, and then it wasn't.
I've got to say, Nightmare in Silver, watching it, it felt very un-Neil Gaiman-y.
It did. I feel like there may have been
I know we're
a
getting
lot
back...
of editorial issue.
Yeah,
I feel like
again,
Neil Gaiman got it taken away from him too much.
I get the feeling it was more like Neil Gaiman was brought on to, like, sketch out a story they already had.
And that doesn't really work.
Because the story's not Neil Gaiman at all.
No, it doesn't have the same feel that The Doctor's Wife did.
No, it
feels like too many people got their hands in the pot, when really they should have just said, Neil Gaiman makes everyone scary, if you say that much at all, and let him go.
Also, because I think it came so late in the season, I think they were trying to set up so much.
And this is the problem. But here's the problem. They didn't set up enough. They could have set up more, I feel, going into the name of the Doctor than they did.
They could have done a two-parter, I think. Like, had one setting up the stuff and then name of the Doctor to knock everything down.
Yes.
But they didn't, really. They kind of had name of the Doctor.
Yeah.
I want to say right now, I didn't hate Name of the Doctor. I liked Name of the Doctor.
Overall, I liked a good portion of Name of the Doctor. I have issues.
Do they revolve around the cliffhanger?
They also revolve around the insertion into the timeline, but
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. At first, I want to make sure that we've covered everything else, because once we get into Name of the Doctor, that's the video. We're going off on that.
Well, let's go into Strax and Mount Vastra a little bit.
Yeah. I like them. I wish they were given more to do than they've been.
Yes, there's a problem with Strax.
You want a pillow?
No, I'm okay. Strax seemingly being sidelined to comic relief with his obsession with violence.
Well, to be fair, he came from the Sarah Jane Adventures, so he started out as kind of a comedic villain.
Fair enough. And you know what? We have to put it out there. Crimson Horror.
It's not a very good episode.
And Thomas.
The fuck? I'm watching that, and you hadn't seen it yet.
No, I'm on the phone to him.
To God, I called him, and I said, "You're not gonna believe this."
Strax is lost, and he just asks the kid for directions, and in a robotic voice, he tells him.
And the kid gives directions, and I go, "What do you think the kid's name is?" And the guy goes, "What, Tom?" And I go, "Yes!" And you're like, "I was kidding!"
And it's Thomas.
It's Thomas. How do you write that? Send that in. And
this is the same episode where a guy keeps seeing alien things and fainting, though.
Yeah, but this is also the episode where Like, they're talking about the apocalypse, and, actually, this was Mark Gaddis, wasn't it?
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Mark Gaddis, incidentally, is like the most hit or miss writer you can get for Doctor Who. Sometimes he's good, most of the time he's not. Like, I think he wrote Fear Her, too, didn't he? Or was that someone else?
You just want to hate Mark Gaddis.
He writes bad stories. He definitely wrote that Silurian story in Season 5, which was not especially good. Like, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't especially good compared to the other episodes of Season 5. Although it was better than Beast Below, which was awful. And that was Stephen Moffat, so I don't know what his problem was that day.
Yes, it was Mark Gaddis.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What else did he write? I know he's written like a bunch of the episodes. Didn't he? He was like head writer of Torchwood for a while, I think. Incidentally, I'm not going to speak for Zach. I'm not sure what his opinion is. I don't like Torchwood. I didn't think it was a very good show.
Season 1 was too obsessed with we're past what do they call it?
After the Waterhouse.
Watershed.
Watershed, yeah.
And so we can be used mature. It was too immature
we have a
in
sex
being
alien. Yay!
Every week.
Yeah, God, jeez. But like, I even watched some of Season 2, and even then it felt really like it was trying way too hard to be Angel. And we already had Angel. Angel was fine. Don't be Angel. Be your own thing. Also, I didn't like what they did with Jack Harkness. I stand by that Torchwood Jack Harkness and Doctor Who Jack Harkness are two completely different characters.
Let's see. No, this is about the acting he did. I'm getting there.
Well, he was on Sherlock, wasn't he?
Who?
Mark Gaddis, or am I thinking of someone else?
He was also Lazarus in Doctor Who.
Oh!
You can see the pain going across his face.
Oh, God, Season 3. Oh!
He's even hit a miss in his acting.
Well, that was just like, you couldn't do anything with that. He's a guy who sometimes turns into a gargoyle monster. What do you do with that?
Let's see.
That was...
Unquiet Dead?
That one wasn't bad.
Idiot's Lantern?
Oh, God. That was awful. Idiot's Lantern might be his worst one. No, he didn't do Fear Her. Someone else did Fear Her. It was that idiot who made Bone Kickers. Anyway, it's not important. Stop.
Okay.
We have him on his phone now. He'll be here for weeks.
Anyway.
Point is, Mark Gaddis wrote that episode. He's not always very good.
Yes.
Sometimes he is, sometimes he's not. This was not one of the times where he was good.
And I think...
Unless you want to talk about Journey to the Center of the TARDIS.
Nope. Nor do I want to talk about the Cold War or Hyde.
I liked the Cold War.
It was good. It was a nice return.
And
it was actually nice to see, and I'm going to forget their names.
The Ice Warriors.
The Ice Warriors again, because I was kind of hoping in Waters of Mars to see them, but you know.
This incidentally, I'm a big Patrick Troughton fan. He's my favorite Doctor. This was a great year for me, because a lot of Patrick Troughton villains were coming back. We had the Ice Warriors, the Great Intelligence. I think that was it, actually. But that's still more than we've seen from like a lot of other...
And we're going to get into the Great Intelligence.
I liked the Great Intelligence. I thought it was fun. And we saw him like sort of metamorphosize into...
We have issues with this episode. I have issues with this episode.
I have issues with this episode too, just not with him really.
Okay, he's a good villain in it. I'll go with that. And
Well-
his creepy whispermen are creepy whispermen.
They remind me of Slender Man. Which,
Why do we have so many... What is Moffat's obsession with Slenderman ripoffs? We have the Silence, and now we have the Whispermen.
He does seem to like villains in suits, doesn't he?
Yes, with that are forgettable for one reason or another. I guess the Whispermen are
Whispermen aren't forgettable.
No, they just have pale faces.
With mouths, only mouths.
Unless the Grey Intelligence decides to
take over one of them.
And imprint the body that he stole. I don't know.
I thought it was a cool idea.
It was.
Actually. I don't want to see them again.
No,
That's the only thing. We've done it. Like I feel like
they were only around because they were creations of the Grey Intelligence, which has died.
Allegedly.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people say that this is all going to tie back to the season 5 mystery.
If they bring the Grey Intelligence back, they can bring back the Whispermen.
Although I've also heard people say they think John Hurt is. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We aren't going to John Hurt yet.
John Hurt, what's that? Stay and find out. Or go watch the episode, you lazy bastard.
Yeah, it's at Target.
We said spoilers. Why are you here?
We spoiled everything except for that. But it's at Target. On sale, maybe.
I guess we finally have to talk about it.
Yeah, well, we were already talking about the Grey Intelligence and the Whispermen.
Yeah. Do we want to go, like, just scene-by-scene analysis, or...?
Let's, I guess, start at the beginning, yeah. So, I'm pretty sure we start off with Madame Vastra.
Yeah, talking to the prisoner guy.
Yes, and it is discovered. The Doctor's secret. Well, I'm getting... basically, we're leading to everyone going to Trinsalor.
Yeah, although, there is something I will say, because it was something that bothered me. The prisoner guy doesn't get explained in the episode.
No.
Like, why the Whispermen came to him. We find out late, there was an extra where they actually explain, like, that they imprinted it on him specifically because he was, like, crazy enough or something that he could handle all the knowledge.
Okay.
And it was a way of getting to Madame Vastra.
Yes.
So that
which mainly is because Madame Vastra has the stupidest conference call idea I've ever heard of.
Where she inceptioned it?
Yes. And, except, the Inception people were smart. She wasn't. The Inception people had a person that they somewhat trusted who was still awake.
Yeah, they didn't do that here. Which
No.
does make you wonder, like, Madame Vastra sends this letter to, new companion.
Clara.
And it says, I have dusted it with this knockout stuff, so you're going to fall asleep. Can you imagine what would have happened if she were, like, reading that?
Well,
like,
she
on
was
the
already at the...
street,
And she
or-
was already at the top of the stairs. Luckily,
Yeah, like, I'm sitting there going, like, and she's dead! Thank you, Madame Vastra, that was very handy.
And, Strax is... Actually, I kind of like... Apparently Strax goes and fights people just for fun.
In Russia, I guess.
I don't
In
know.
Russia?
I think it was a bar in, like, North London or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
It was Northern England. I think it was still in England.
Oh, okay.
But apparently he fights people for fun. He
Yeah.
hangs with this...
Incidentally, you do have to wonder, like, a giant potato man walks into a bar in England and goes, let's fight. Okay, whatever. I'm clearly drunk.
And then he says, knock me out.
Yeah. Strax is awesome.
Yes.
I actually like all three of them.
Yes.
I do. I think...
They make a good combo. And this scene is only
Yeah, we shouldn't lay back.
Sorry, kind of ruined because of one thing. River Song shows up to the conference call.
Okay, I want to get my feelings for River Song out now.
Okay.
When River Song first appeared, I thought she had a lot of really cool potential because we had a companion, or a future companion, who knew about the Doctor.
Now, just before we get into this, I've kind of read some of the novels, and while it's a loose base, it could have been cool, kind of like the Beatrice Summerfield character as she is in the novels, that doesn't get too entangled in the Doctor, but keeps showing up every once in a while with her own timeline going on side by side with the Doctor. And now I'm off Beatrice Summerfield.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
She's awesome.
I need to. What book was that?
I'll get you.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up later. Beatrice Summerfield. Look it up on your own. I've never heard of her.
She's a time traveling archaeologist who's yes.
She is fucking River Song.
Except she doesn't get as fucking involved in the timeline.
Here's my thing. When I first heard River Song, I liked the idea of a companion who the Doctor knows is going to die. And like that I thought could have had all kinds of possibilities. What'd they go? The fucking romantic angle. I do not like the idea of the Doctor
and
getting
just at this point, the Doctor is supposedly 900 years old. So just think of all these people hitting on the Doctor as hitting on Yoda.
Yeah, that's like what it felt like to me. Something to remember. My first Doctor was Christopher Eccleston. He had a romantic relationship with Rose.
Kind of.
I was going to call her something nasty, but
it was more.
Well, it was more Tennant who had the relationship, but it got started with Eccleston.
Sorry, Bernice Summerfield.
Anyway, but even then, the first time I saw it, it rubbed me the wrong way. A, because I knew there were already other companions, just because I'd heard about the show. Maybe other people going into it didn't have that. But B, the whole 900-year-old people having like it's a lot of people go like, oh, you could do like the Twilight thing very easily. I don't see it. I don't get this whole, he's 900 years old, he's perfect for me.
Here's the thing, the Twilight thing kind of works because Edward apparently hasn't aged in 100 years. He's still a whiny teenager, whereas the Doctor changes constantly, but he's aged through that
Even
time.
So, relationships are kind of built on similar life experiences and
at this point,
common understanding of the world.
And I hate to say it because there's Slash out there. The only another Time Lord, which I guess would be
oh God, no! We're not doing that. No, no. We're not. We brought him up already. Well, I guess he could do it with Jack.
Well, the Face of Bo did have babies at one point.
Yeah, I actually heard a theory that the Face of Bo. Okay, here's the theory as I heard it.
Okay.
And I'll get back to River Song eventually. River Song has a time. What were they called? Like the time cops or
time. A vortex manipulator.
Yeah, a vortex manipulator, which she said she got from the blue-faced guy.
Yes.
Whose name escapes me, but he's
Dorian.
Cool. Dorian, who said he got it off of a dead time agent.
Yes.
Jack's a time agent. Dorian used to work with the headless monks who chop off people's heads. The Face of Bo is just a head. Jack Harkness
that the Doctor did break it at one point, but if it got working again, the Doctor did mess enough with that vortex manipulator. It would explain why it's so reliable for River Song.
Yeah.
Whereas we know vortex manipulators are usually
horrendously unreliable.
Yes.
Because we can't have anything more reliable than the TARDIS.
No. Except the Master's TARDIS was always more reliable because he kept it in good working order.
Also, the Daleks had time travel machines that always
We
worked.
aren't talking about that weird armor they had.
That was back in the first Doctor era.
I know. It was weird, though.
Anyway, going back to River Song, in addition to being the Doctor's girlfriend, which I was not crazy about, she's also half Time Lord. And
because of reasons of being born in the time vortex.
Yeah, she's half Time Lord.
And I just have to... Okay. Now, first of all, just being Gallifreyan doesn't make you a Time Lord. I don't care what the New Who continuity is.
Well, they do say like Time Lords get their regeneration ability from like traveling via the time stream so long.
Yes, but Time Lord is a rank and a thing that you get via doing that. It's not something that is
this really pissed you off.
Can't be born as a Time Lord. Even if you're born in the freaking time vortex, you may have more acclamation to being a Time Lord.
Okay, so she's half Gallifreyan.
And this is getting dangerously close to Paul McGann movie territory.
Really, it reminds me more of Mary Sue. It's like a...
I wasn't going to go there. I was not going to go there. I didn't want to go there.
River Song is less a Mary Sue than Rose is a Mary Sue.
And also, she's the daughter of Rory and Amy.
Yeah, so she's the daughter of two popular companions, the girlfriend of the Doctor. She can regenerate, except she gave up all her regenerations because she is so in love with the Doctor and so good and kind-hearted, and she dies for the Doctor, and she's willing to kill, but she's, does it for good reasons, and everyone is afraid of her, but they also envy her, and she's all kinds of sexy, and God, I hate this character. I hate this character!
And
not as much as
she's
Rose,
also Renesmee, if you look at it that way, but I'm just going to leave it out.
I don't hate her as much as I hate Rose, but I do hate her.
Fair enough. And just spoilers, this River Song is the data pack from the library.
Yeah, in The Name of the Doctor, they pick up what they think is River Song, but it turns out it's actually post-death River Song, who somehow has a mental link with Clara. They never actually say how.
Apparently because she never hung up during the conference call.
But they also say, and if Clara's dead, why am I still here? Although I guess that means
Claire's not alive. Claire's not dead yet.
Yeah, I guess that's just indication that the Doctor's going to save her.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know fans who are, still trying to... They're puzzling over that.
Okay. Now. A lot of these fans who are puzzling are idiots if the puzzles I've seen them going over.
I just want to say right now, we're going to get to this later on, and some of the speculation I've heard. I'm going to institute something now called the mystery box effect.
Except now you are sharing something with a certain director.
No, I'm calling it the mystery box effect because it's a failure of that director.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know, J.J. Abrams, or the devil, has this whole thing where he talks about the mystery box. The emphasis of the mystery box is the mystery is greater than the result. Or in his case, I like to build up to a surprise.
Yes, like the surprise in Star Trek,
That's what I'm getting to. Basically, he uses the mystery box more in his publicity than in his actual movie. For instance, Khan in New Star Trek. They come out with this trailer. Oh, it's a classic Star Trek villain, but you'll never figure out who it is. And so everyone goes Khan, 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 Khan. And then everyone starts going, okay, it can't be Khan because that's too obvious. So what could be more interesting? What would make a more interesting movie?
And here's the problem. Then you have people thinking of what's a more interesting movie, and when it turns out it's just fucking Khan, it doesn't work.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I remember when the movie was coming out, I heard so many great theories as to who Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be. It wasn't any of those. It was Khan, and everyone knew it was Khan.
And for anyone who, and we'll get off this in a minute, anyone who thinks that Benedict Cumberbatch was a better Khan than Ricardo Montalban, no.
Go die.
Anyway.
You are wrong. You are
but
wrong!
We're off Star Trek now. We're off Star Trek.
Yeah, I went on for 2 hours about that. I can't do that again.
Yes.
Anyway, that's my comparison. There's a twist in The Name of the Doctor. where they introduce a character that we don't entirely know who he is. I've been hearing so many theories.
But we're going to get to that at the end.
Yeah, I just want to say, remember the mystery box. Remember the mystery box. It's never as good as you think.
Yes.
Anyway, so now River Song is... I'm assuming this means that we're done with River Song.
Let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Or at the very
least... You want
least,
me to see if she's on for the 50th anniversary special?
I think I checked and she wasn't.
Okay. Well, I'll take that as good confirmation. Anyway, back to the show.
But anyway, I'm hoping she's gone.
Yes.
Or at the very least, I get the feeling this means they're cutting back on her. Because we've learned all that there is to know about her, really. We've learned her origin story. We've learned what her position was. We've seen her fulfill her role.
And we've retconned her parents, so...
Also, again, going into extras, in the Season 6, they had the Knight and the Doctor specials. And one of them was the Doctor. If you recall in Silence of the Library, she says...
did they show the last time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then they're pretty much done with her.
Yeah, they show the Doctor taking her to their last day.
Okay.
Before she dies. Spoilers! But she died like 3 seasons ago. Time travel spoilers!
Anyway, the Whispermen interrupt this conference call of stupidity. After we figure out that... I think it's at this point that we figure out it's not a... oh no, that gets figured out by the Doctor after he has his little crying fit.
Well, no, River's Song, they find out where they're going.
Yes, but what he figures out, it's not the secret that's... They haven't discovered the secret, they've discovered his...
grave.
His grave.
They have this whole thing where, like, he has a secret he will take to the grave.
It is discovered. The grave, not the secret.
Yeah. Incidentally, I know we're going to get to that. You know, I'll discuss that when we get to that. Just let me go first. Because I have a feeling you're going to be surprised by what I say.
I'm probably not happy.
I think you'll be surprised.
Okay.
So they go to Trenzalore.
Which is, where, I think that Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting just in a corner.
And River Song is there. She's connected via the memory to Clara.
Oh, and spoilers, the Doctor can see her, but he doesn't reveal this until later in the episode.
Why can he see her anyway? Did they ever explain
that? Because he can always see her, apparently.
Oh yeah, it's more Stephen Moffat,
I know more than you do! Whee!
Well, I guess you could make the argument that maybe the Doctor was connected to that conference in secret.
And he never hung up.
Yeah.
How do you hang up on a mental conference call?
Goodbye?
Whatever. Anyway.
Oh,
and by the way, Ginny died.
Yeah, that pissed me the fuck off!
Calm. She didn't really die.
That's what pissed me off!
Why kill her if you're gonna bring her back?
Exactly!
Shh.
Okay, we'll get to that in a bit, but Jenny died in the conference call. It was a very sad moment. It was really like, oh my god, they really are going there.
Because you have to realize, throughout this whole season 7, Strax, Ginny, and Mount Vastra are a great trio. And you really like how they work together, and all of a sudden, they kill off one of that trio.
Yeah, and like I was sad, but at the same time I was like, oh my god, that effectively does raise the stakes.
Right, and it makes the Grey Intelligence, the villain for the episode, a real applicable threat. He just needs some of them alive. He doesn't need all of them, and here he goes, taking one of them out.
And here's the thing, the Grey Intelligence, I know him from the Second Doctor era. I know he can be threatening. He hasn't really been in New Who.
No. It'd be kind of like the problem with the thing about the Grey Intelligence.
Like, I feel like he sort of got there in this episode, and I kind of want to see more of him now, but...
Right. He's a bodiless threat.
Bodiless,
sorry.
Yeah.
Kind of like Omega. and no one knows what I'm talking about. But anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
yes.
Omega was a classic Who villain. Go watch The Three Doctors. You will not be disappointed.
No, he was a contemporary of Rassilon, and that's
No end of time. Once we get into end of time, we will never leave.
good Rassilon, not that Rassilon.
Well, good.
Okay,
Better
Rassilon.
good character Rassilon.
The goodness of Rassilon is up in the air.
The fucking end of time. So
yeah, that was a clone of Rassilon or something. Anyway,
I
to-
go by the theory that was the war chief pretending to be Rassilon.
yes,
Because
kind
that
of,
makes so much more sense.
even though you don't like that episode. Do you?
The war chief?
There was something you didn't like from Classic Who.
From the War Games.
Yeah, I thought you didn't like
I
the
like
War
the
Games.
War Games.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said you didn't. I'm sorry.
No, I love the War Game. It
Okay.
goes on too long, but I like it.
Okay. What was it? It was whatever the loom was in that you didn't like.
Oh, Long Barrow.
Okay,
no,
yes,
no,
sorry. I was confusing the
Yeah,
two.
that's part of the Cartmel master plan, which I think is a good idea, but I don't think all the details of it were very
Anyway,
well thought
sorry.
out.
Back, and I know I said we weren't going into Who continuity. I guess we threw that out the window a while ago.
Anyway, so they go to
The giant TARDIS, because apparently the bigger on the inside can go to the outside after a TARDIS dies.
I actually thought that was kind of a clever idea. Or here's the way I don't like the way they explained it, but what I think they're saying is like the chameleon circuit creates a projection of the TARDIS outside based on alternate dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
As the TARDIS breaks down, the projection cannot withhold its shape, so it's becoming the size of the other dimension.
Mm.
So eventually it will expand to the point where it just explodes and breaks apart. I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Okay.
Granted, that's my interpretation of it. Maybe they were going for something else, but if that's what they meant, then I thought that was really cool. And then
I thought it would have been interesting if it's to see the. I mean, I understand cost and everything. If it is a dying TARDIS, it would have been nice to see it be a little bit more faded or worn away or something.
Well, the fucking roof was gone.
Yeah, but you know.
I guess.
Anyway,
I
whatever.
didn't have a problem with
The
that.
Grave of River Song is there.
The grave of River Song is there, but it's not, because River Song doesn't have a grave, because she died in the library and got preserved on a dead accord. Do you think it gets boring being Data? For all
Well, she came
eternity?
here to die, so apparently.
Mm. Well, no, that's because she loves the Doctor so much, and she's so special she can break out of the thing.
Okay, we're off River
Oh.
Song. I'm going to keep him. We're just going to barely mention River Song because otherwise we're going to be here.
Anyway,
ranting
she who
about-
will not be named's grave is there. But
Bella
it's-
Swan? No. Sorry.
She's not that bad.
Anyway.
She's not
It's
even
a
as
secret-
bad as Martha. She's definitely not as bad as
There's
Bella
a secret
Swan.
way in to where they are, but they all get caught. The Doctor saves Ginny, and now.
No. The Doctor doesn't save Jenny.
Oh, right.
Strax saves
Strax
Jenny.
saves Ginny.
And here's where I got...
Shh. Do this calmly.
Okay, if you're going to have a tragic death scene just to undo it with pointless medical bullshit later, why have it? It doesn't have any emotional impact on the story. It doesn't have anything.
You want to know what I'll compare it to? The Matrix sequels. When we kill Trinity in Revolutions, bring her back to kill her in the third movie for no reason. Other than the fact that those movies all sucked. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry for bringing the Matrix sequels into
I
this
was almost
discussion.
going to bring it back to Star Trek.
And I brought to the Matrix sequels instead.
Yeah, that's. I guess those are worse. I said I guess. But yeah, it is kind of like that. Like, why are you even doing it? There was
no point to really bring Trinity back there. There's no point bringing Jenny back here. Why did you kill her in the first place?
Yeah,
You
no.
could have. You know what they could have done? They could have gravely injured her, and Strax brings her back. If you want to do that, there you go.
Or you could have put her in peril, and Vastra has to save her, or
something. Do that, then
that
it's still
sexist.
If Strax saved her, it would be sexist. If Vastra saves her,
I don't know. Is that masculinizing?
It's
is that masculinizing Vastra in this relationship? Or?
I think that she kind of has been, but
I'm overthinking this.
I don't know. Now you've got me thinking of Vastra, Ginny, and Strax in a relationship together, and that's just...
Well, Vastra and Ginny are
I know they are, but
together.
Strax
is like their oversized toddler.
Okay, and who's Tom Tom?
Tom Tom is the robot dog.
Anyway...
Yeah, Tom Tom is Mickey.
Yes, who's apparently commander in Starfleet.
Oh, that... No! Oh, nope. No.
Sorry.
Not going there. Not going there. Anyway, so after that bit of pointlessness, the Great Intelligence shows up and explains that he views the Doctor as a villain, which a lot of people have started doing since New Who became a thing.
And all I will say to this thing about the Doctor as a villain, if you look at it from New Who, you may have more of an argument. But they're obviously in this making a case for Old Who as well, and that is where I'm going to get on my... Okay, Old Who. So, the Doctor's a villain now. Okay, I'll admit...
Well, hold on. He did say that he feared the Doctor becoming a villain.
Yes, except here's his plan. As he's dying, his plan is... So the Great Intelligence plan... I'm getting ahead of us in scene, so I'll get to my... I'll try and save my complaints, because this complaint...
Okay, well, let me... He's using the argument that the Doctor has done terrible things and hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, he's also saying taking out the Doctor will destroy the universe 3 times over. A lot of times over. Taking out the Doctor is not a solution.
Yeah, and that's largely because it, in reality, is a very petty vengeance that the Great Intelligence
Basically,
has.
what the Great Intelligence is doing is destroying all reality by doing this.
Yeah.
And for something called the Great Intelligence, that's pretty goddamn stupid.
Well, maybe he won't be there, so he won't care.
Anyway, so back to... So the Whispermen and the Great Intelligence explain their plan. He has a standoff where he wants the Doctor to say his name so he can get into the inner sanctum of the Doctor's grave.
We know he's not going to give his name. We know we're never going to actually learn the Doctor's name.
Well, it has been written down. It's unpronounceable. It's a mathematical equation.
What episode is that?
It's on the wall in the Tom Baker episode.
Oh, that...
Doctor Who fans!
Was that from the same episode where we saw like all of the past selves that don't exist except they do as the other, and you know?
Let's not get into the other.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the other later. Okay. Anyway,
so River Song says the Doctor's name,
but we don't hear it because she's a ghost, and we're seeing it from, I guess, not people who don't see Rivers.
We're seeing from Vastra's viewpoint.
Yeah.
So anyway, they all get into...
And here's where we get to the part that I get the feeling we're not going to like.
We get into the control room. There's no body. There is the Doctor's time stream.
It's a scar in the time stream that follows all of the Doctor's points of breaking it. That's cheap. You weren't expecting me to say that, were you?
No, I'll take that.
Okay, first of all, the Doctor gives that whole thing, oh, I've had tons of bodies. No, you haven't, because you regenerated. That's not the same thing as having a corpse.
Fair enough, but you have to remember now regeneration means that you explode into a new person.
Yeah, I'm still confused about that. I still go with the theory that that's like he still has bits of the time, the heart of the TARDIS
Yes.
lodged in him.
Yes, for all you New Who fans, Regeneration didn't used to be like that.
No, regeneration.
It was kind of weird in the Paul McGann movie, but, you know,
Well, there've been a lot of weird ones, like Colin Baker's regeneration into McCoy. He had like a rainbow face.
And then there was the Watcher.
The Watcher. Oh, Watcher, you.
And then, you know, he was forced. But yeah, anyway.
It's been very different over the years.
But
I don't like the idea, though, of the scar. For one thing, I feel like that physicalizes the time stream, which I don't like.
Which means it's intrable.
Yeah. And we all knew, the moment they say that, we all know what's going to happen.
Someone's going to go into the time stream.
Well, we all know Clara is going to go into the time stream.
Yes,
and we all
because
know
that
the
makes
intelligence
sense.
is going to go into the time stream.
Yes,
and to a point, I think this is kind of a clever twist.
Okay. What depends on what point you're going to here.
In that, from the standpoint set up by the laws of the universe, I don't like that they physicalize the time stream in this way, but there's nothing in the lore that says it can't happen this way. And so on that level, I feel like...
I wouldn't... Yeah, I would personally think this is, if anything, it would make sense why the Time Lords don't allow interference based on something like this.
Yeah, if you're going to create a tear in the time stream that would allow someone to travel to all points of time...
In your timeline, when your timeline... Now, think of it this way. We're saying the Doctor's 900 years old. That's really young for a Time Lord.
By this point, I think he's over 1,000.
That's still really young for a Time
Lord.
Yeah,
it is.
The Doctor goes through regenerations.
But didn't you hear David Tennant? He's so old.
I thought we weren't bringing up
David
David
we're not
Tennant.
bringing that up.
Because otherwise...
I needed to. We're not going there.
Hey, you brought David Tennant up.
One of these days, we're going to do a joint review on the end of time, and the internet will go, ugh, not another one of these.
Just leave me. Sorry. You're so much more important than me. Anyway, back to the time stream. This is a very logical argument for why the Time Lords don't like people interfering in the time stream.
Yes. And I
because
actually
it leaves something like this.
And in that way, it actually also makes sense.
Right.
Now, from a fan standpoint, I don't like the new Who seems to have a history of rewriting old Who for some reason.
Are we really going to that scene right now?
Well, we're getting there soon.
Anyway,
Grey Intelligence goes into the wound.
And actually, this is where it gets... alternate, because now we start inserting people into old footage. And...
I was kind of bothered by that, and I kind of wasn't.
Here's where I was bothered by it. When they did with Clara, because it didn't really look... When they did with the Grey Intelligence, they did it okay. When they did with Clara, they didn't do it so okay. Mainly, there's a scene that really didn't work. And it...
Is it the scene that I'm thinking about?
Probably. And it didn't work on many levels. And... I'm just gonna go out.
I'm spinning a thing off screen. That's what's distracting.
Okay. So, the Grey Intelligence goes in and the Doctor starts to die, and as the Doctor starts to die, Madame Vastra starts to think, hold on a second. The Doctor's done a lot of things. He saved many people. He saved you, Jenny.
And then Jenny disappears.
Yes.
And Strax becomes a proper evil Sontaran.
And I think lights start going out in the sky, too. Like, we haven't done that a bunch of times before.
Stephen Moffat seems to love They seem to love the stars going out in New Who.
Yes.
They did it in Season 4, they did it in Season 5.
Hell, they did it in the episode right before this one, where they blew up a whole galaxy. It was just dark.
Yeah, they did do that. I guess it's a cheap image they can use.
Yeah.
That scene, though, I thought, that was pretty cool, when, suddenly the times rewriting itself and Vostra's losing all of her friends.
But here's my big question. How is Vostra remembering?
I guess the timeline's catching up with her.
Okay.
Like, maybe
she's had more interaction with the Doctor, so there's more to
or maybe
erase.
she's had more interaction with time travel. Because Clara's remembering as well, and she's been jumping all over time and space.
Right.
So,
Okay.
on that level, I guess that works out okay. To a certain extent, there is a sort of logical suspension of disbelief you do have to make with Doctor Who.
Yes.
Because Doctor Who, I always feel like I feel like on the opposite ends of space, there's Star Trek as hard science, Star Wars as space fantasy, like it's not even science fiction.
And then there's Doctor Who let's play in the sandbox of time and space.
Doctor Who, I think, sort of straddles that line, and when they fall on one side or the other, that's when they really have problems.
Right.
And
now, so then we have the big lovey-dovey scene between the Doctor and Clara realizes what's happening, runs into the vortex to save him after talking to River Song.
Yeah, and she incidentally has remembered now that she's been other people in the time stream. So now she realizes
that she has to. And River Song's like, no, you'll die. They won't beat you. And she's like, well, yeah, you know what? It's better than ending up as a data pack on a library. Sorry. No, she doesn't say that, but you know.
That would have been funny. She wouldn't have said that, but that would have been funny. So then she gives a speech about souffles and runs in.
Yes, because we forgot to mention this about Clara. It's all about the souffle.
Yeah,
which we can tie that back to Steel, but
when we come back to this, by the way, we're going to have to talk more about Clara, because I don't think I really gave a full opinion on
Souffle
Clara.
Girl! I'm Souffle Girl. That's what she says. And
then she jumps in. Then she bounces around, and okay, I'm mostly okay with the insert footage, except for one scene.
She shows up on Gallifrey.
She shows up on Gallifrey as a Gallifreyan, apparently.
I'm not going off on a rant. All I'm going to say is this. I like William Hartnell. I really like William... Let me get my William Hartnell out of the... William Hartnell was a grumpy old man who kidnapped 2 school teachers. But, you know, he had a charm to him that they were still developing the Doctor then, and his character intrigues me in that it's so different from what the Doctor became. And to tie him in like this, the fact that she told him, the only thing I can go, we didn't see a scene, is my assumption is the Great Intelligence made him pick a different TARDIS. Because otherwise, I am really upset. She tells him to use this TARDIS, not the one he was going to. And that really, because, first of all, just logically, you're stealing a TARDIS and someone tells you, hey, use this TARDIS. Oh, okay, I'll trust you, random lady. What? William Hartnell, first of all. We're saying William Hartnell trusted a random lady. And William Hartnell, I don't think he even really trusted his granddaughter at its points.
Not really.
So, you know, this is a guy who was going to bash a caveman in the first episode.
Yeah.
And so this is totally out of character, and I know you're saying it's 40 years old. Get over it. 50 years old. 50th anniversary. Yes, I got this. Get over it. But what I'm saying is, this is William Hartnell. You do not disrespect... Tom Baker may be best well known for playing the Doctor, but this is William Hartnell. He started the role. No matter what you think about the man, this is William Hartnell. And you do not say that this actress gets to tell him what TARDIS to steal.
Who is this?
Huh?
Who is this? You only said like 50 times. I think I missed it.
I like William Hartnell.
I know, and I agree with you. That was a very badly done scene. In my opinion, first of all, I don't like the idea that William Hartnell waited till he was as old.
And he's not as big a fan. Oh yeah, this is the other thing. I like to think that maybe he picked up his granddaughter later.
Yeah,
then they went to his first thing when he stole this TARDIS was to pick up his granddaughter and go to a junkyard. Really?
Yeah, like, here's the thing. I know even in his old age, William Hartnell is still young by a Time Lord standpoint. But because of how rebellious he is, I like to think that he started it. Something tragic happened to him when he was like our idea of 50, which for them is barely nothing.
And he stole the TARDIS.
And he stole the TARDIS, and he had these adventures.
And then, later on... And what I'd like to think, something happened to his family while he was off having adventures, and all that was left was his granddaughter, so he picked her up because it was the last link to his family.
Yeah, like, something like that. I don't like the idea that, like, they just... Oh, and this old guy kidnapped his granddaughter and ran off
to
for reasons unexplained to a junkyard. And no, that doesn't make sense to me. And
which would even explain why he's not that comfortable with her. Like, her parents just died, maybe, and he picked her up to... I know we're retconning history, but it's never really explained back then. They just called... Anyway, I'm off this. Also, not all Gallifreyans are Time Lords. Not all Gallifreyans are Time Lords.
You're not getting over that.
Not all Gallifreyans are Time Lords. They are born... William Hartnell confirms. Now, you can say they haven't established it yet, but you know what? It's continuity. One heart. One heart.
Oh, that's what we're doing with the... That's what you mean when you say that they become Time Lords.
Part of it, yes.
Okay.
The regeneration thing, they don't properly get the Time Lord physiology until their first regeneration.
Alright, I have my own theories on that.
Whatever. He had a heart transplant.
We're not getting into that. My other thing is, I agree with you. William Hartnell, especially since like the bond between the Doctor and the TARDIS is, in my opinion, the most intimate relationship.
So here's what they should have done.
Show.
Then. You should have had. They didn't show the Great Intelligence messing with this decision. If they did, it went by too quick. But they really needed to show that, because otherwise, this is just throwing Clara in and really fucking with continuity, in my opinion.
No, I think you're right. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on all of that. And I get what they were trying to do. They're building up for the 50th anniversary. They're trying to tie all of the Doctor's selves together and show something from back before he was even the Doctor. Well, the Doctor that we know.
Yeah.
But I feel it blew up in their face.
It would be enough, I would think, if they wanted to reference the first Doctor. At one point, she's hearing auditory hallucinations. If you just clearly heard the one speech he's best known for, the I will be back speech, clearly in the auditory flashbacks, that would be enough of a reference to the first Doctor.
Well, they do play some of it.
They do, but just more of that. Instead of this scene, if you had just more of that, that would be enough. Or some other lines from him. That would be enough, rather than this scene.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I always picture it sort of like... I know you don't like Firefly, but they have the scene in the show where Malcolm Reynolds is picking out Serenity, and he like views her from across the way, and there's an instant connection. That's always the way I view it with the Doctor and the TARDIS.
Right, and
then they cheat.
Now we're back out of the time stream now, I think, right?
Yeah.
And we have
everything's fixed itself.
Yes.
But the Doctor doesn't want Clara to die, because he doesn't. And so he goes into his own time stream.
Hold on, you forgot about the whole conversation with River.
I thought we already kind of covered that.
You just don't want to talk about her more.
River. We reveal that the Doctor sees River. River doesn't want him to go because he might die, but then says, like, oh, I'm still connected to Clara.
So he goes in. He goes in.
Bye-bye, River. Good riddance.
And now we have people in the Doctor's outfits running by Clara.
Yeah. Extras in the Doctor's outfit. And they're allegedly all the old Doctors. And the Matt Smith Doctor, brings her back to him.
With the leaf thing.
And then... here's the part. It.
So, the music strikes up. The music does strike up at this moment. The music is unmentionable.
There's this shadowy figure in the corner.
Who's that?
I thought I'd seen all of you. He is me, but he is not the Doctor. But I did, and...
Hold on. You forgot about... We have to have the name drop for the episode. A name isn't...
Oh, yeah, they name-dropped the Valyard.
Wait, when?
The Great Intelligence.
When? I'm trying to remember now.
Back when he's mentioning all the time... You know him as this great figure, but to others he is known as the oncoming storm, the beast, the Valyard.
Yes, because everyone's going to know what that means.
Well, that's where we get to the mystery box section, but we're going to get to that.
Hold on, but we're getting to... You skipped this... Who is that? And the Doctor pulls this speech out of nowhere to answer why a name is a promise. The name you choose is a promise.
Okay, are you really going to get upset because the Doctor's making a speech? He's the Doctor!
This is bringing to a point. This is coming to a point with me that ties in to John freaking Hurt. Okay?
Okay. It's John Hurt, by the way.
Yeah, he's the Doctor, except not the Doctor. It's confusing. The text says he's the Doctor, but the Doctor just says he's not the Doctor, so it's John Hurt.
It's John Hurt. He's going to be in the 50th anniversary special.
Yeah, with David Tennant.
And she who must not be named.
Bella Swan? No.
Worse than Bella Swan. Yeah, I said it. Fuck Rose.
Anyway.
Fuck Rose.
Calm down. Just say Billy Piper or Rose Tyler because it's confusing. I have a sister.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, we have a friend. His sister also really likes Doctor Who, and she's a good friend of mine, and her name's Rose. Okay, fuck Rose Tyler.
Thank you.
Because Billy Piper's nice.
Yeah, her music wasn't great.
I don't know, but she is a talented actress.
Yes. Anyway, back to where I was going. Yes, a name is a promise. He broke that promise. Now, I can't get really upset with this until I know what it is. Here's my problem. They seem to be setting this up to be the decision...
Hold on. I want to get to that later.
Okay, fine.
So let's just wrap this up. So the Doctor says, like, what you did not do in the name of the Doctor, and then it turns around and it's John Hurt.
And he says, what I did in the name of...
peace and order.
And sanity. I had no choice in what I did.
Yeah, I did what I had to do, yada yada, blah blah blah.
And then Matt Smith gets angry out of nowhere. You got the name of the Doctor.
Well, that's what Matt Smith does when he's angry.
What? He turns into a dragon? What?
You saw a Victory of the Daleks.
Matt Smith doesn't do great when he gets angry.
He's gotten better. He's not David Tennant with that.
Eccleston was good when he got angry.
Eccleston was amazing.
Angry. Like in Dialect, why don't you just die? Anyway, he has issues with... He likes Eccleston's Doctor, but not Eccleston as an actor.
I like Eccleston as an actor just fine. I don't like Eccleston as a person.
He has an issue with his never reprising a role thing.
He wouldn't come back to do the Doctor! Like, that's Tom Baker level douchery.
Anyway.
We were all over the place in this vlog. Anyway, I think now we're up to the speculation boom that's been coming out of this. I've been hearing all the theories. Let's cut straight to the heart of the matter.
Wait, I just want to throw out the theory I haven't heard, and I have to because it's me.
Yeah. Great.
John Hurt is a great vampire.
Incidentally, the Great Vampires were a villain from the Fourth Doctor era. They've never been heard of or mentioned since their appearance.
In the books, they have been mentioned, and in the books it was theorized that Rassilon may have even been a great vampire, and I'm sorry, I'll be quiet in the background now.
Incidentally, you're going to owe me $10 after the 50th episode.
I am, like, the only person who really wants the Great Vampires to come back, apparently. Vampires in Venice disappoint me. The freaking vampire god in Rings of Akatan disappointed me. Bring back a vamp. Even the Hemivores. I'll take the Hemivores. A vampire. Proper vampire. Related to the vampire lore we've laid down in the past. Anyway, I'll be quiet now. Back to the speculation.
Okay, before we get into some of the theories I've been hearing knocking around, I wanna bring up the mystery box thing again. It's the Time War. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Is that your mystery box?
Yes.
Oh, what's in there? Oh, it's the Time War. Yeah, he's the guy who killed the Time Lords. We know it. Occam's razor. Occam's razor, actually, that works as well. So Occam's razor is in the mystery box.
Okay, so if it's just the Time War, here's where I want to bring up the promise thing. Are you telling me that the Doctor is such... The Doctor, who has established, even in the new series, that he's not a good man, has only broken whatever promise the Doctor means that once? Are you kidding me? How close did he...
Well, I guess you could make the argument that, like, that was the moment that the Doctor... That's still a fresh wound for the Doctor. That's, like, the biggest
It's
wound.
not a fresh wound. It's not just about fresh wounds. It's when he broke the promise he made to himself when he called himself the Doctor, supposedly. So...
To be fair, we don't even know what the promise is.
Yeah, but you know what? That means that all of All 2 is open for me to pick apart here. So, first thing I will bring up, if we're dealing with genocide, let's bring up a point that he came very close to that in the Dalek episode. You know where I'm going?
Which Dalek episode?
The one where he had the wires.
The wires?
He was about to...
Genesis of the Daleks.
Yes.
Now I know what you're talking about. I thought you were going to talk about the point where the first Doctor convinced an entire race to commit genocide.
We could deal with that. We could also deal with the first Doctor. Apparently, it's in the name of the Doctor to try and brain a caveman.
Yeah. That is a question. What is the Doctor's promise?
Yes.
Maybe the promise was, I won't blow up my people no matter how big a bunch of dickheads they are.
And you know what? They're really a bunch of dickheads.
They are a bunch of dickheads.
And actually, doesn't that mean that David Tennant should also be there too? Because he kind of sent them back to the Time War.
We're not talking about that.
I'm just saying. And,
well, except people like David Tennant, and if you say anything, then the Tennantites will get on your back. Because they're dickheads. No offense, David Tennant fans. I don't hate David Tennant fans. I hate people who only like David Tennant.
They're like the new Tom Baker fans.
Yeah, they're like the new...
and we'll even take the Tom Baker fans now.
Yeah, like...
They aren't as bad as the Tennantites.
Like, if that's your case, you're not watching Doctor Who, you're watching the David Tennant or Tom Baker show. Go watch whatever else they do. Don't watch Doctor Who anymore. Because you're an annoying ponce.
But you can like Colin Baker. He loves Colin Baker. I'm just saying that.
Colin Baker's among my least favorite Doctors. So is David Tennant, actually, but I appreciate the people who do like him.
You're just saying that.
Because I still want people to watch me, yes.
Fair enough. I'll just get this out of here. So, I don't like Buffy, I don't like Firefly.
Basically, you hate all Joss Whedon.
No, I like Dr. Horrible.
And the Avengers.
Yeah. It was okay.
We both hate J.J. Abrams and his Star Trek.
I don't like Twilight. Oh, and I don't like Harry Potter.
Saying I don't like Twilight probably makes you more popular on the internet. There's a giant web there.
Yes. It's quite impressive.
I'm going to have to blow up my room now. I hate spiders. I really do.
The itsy bitsy spider. Anyway.
I like Harry Potter. He doesn't.
Back to the speculation.
Okay. So, yeah, it will probably be tied to the Time War somehow.
Which, I would rather it would be an amalgamation. Because... like, this is the Valyard. And I know that would be, if it's amalgamation of all of the choices he made that aren't in the name of the Doctor.
That's not bad. That's a good idea.
It's not just this one decision, maybe the Time Lord can be a major decision because it's the freshest one, but it's more every bad decision he's made is in the character of John Hurt in this case, who is the Valyard, or all his bad decisions.
I'm going to point out, though, mystery box.
Valyard can fit in the mystery box.
No, he can't.
Now, just to be fair, Valyard did kind of suck in his only on-screen appearance.
But he was such a cool idea.
Yes.
He was so cool. Basically, for people who don't know who the Valyard is, do you remember the Dream Lord from Amy's Choice? Kind of like that, but less abstract. Or more abstract, I guess, depending on how you view it.
Yes.
I'd say go watch Trial of a Time Lord to find out, but then you'd have to
and for
watch
all those
Trial of a
people who
Time
say
Lord.
that because John Hurt actually existed and the Doctor's on his last regeneration, we have so many outs for him to get another regeneration, it's not even funny.
Dude, they gave the out! River Song!
Not even that. We can go back to human nature.
We could go back to human nature. I personally stand by the theory that he didn't make his first organic regeneration until the 4th Doctor.
When he combined with the Watcher?
Yeah. Maybe it's the Watcher. Because the Watcher was a part of the Doctor that split it off. Again, it's not going to be. This is me coming up with ideas that would be cooler than what Stephen Moffat's probably going to do. And I like Stephen Moffat. He comes up with cool ideas. But he's casting... He's hot. I'm trying to think of the metaphor. He's playing his hand too early.
Mm-hmm.
He's giving the...
And here's the problem. He's set it up for months of speculation.
Yep. And we know he's going to be in the 50th anniversary special.
Yes.
Alongside one of my least favorite Doctors and my least favorite companion.
Absolutely the least favorite companion.
Okay, no, Mel's is worse, but...
Ooh, really?
I don't like Mel's. Okay, not Mel's. I'm sorry, not Mel's is River Song. Mel from the 6th Doctor era. Mel's was annoying, but she's...
lumpable in with River Song.
Yeah. Who, I don't hate River Song that much, but I do hate her. If that makes sense. Why can't we bring Jamie back?
Why can't we bring Adric back?
Adric's dead. I mean, Jamie had his memory wiped and got stranded in the Highlands.
I'm still really upset that we couldn't get the Brigadier back before he passed.
Well, now we have the Brigadier's daughter, and I do like that. I do appreciate that. That's something from Season 7 we didn't talk about. The Brigadier's daughter.
Yes.
I like it. I wish they had brought the Brigadier in for a cameo first.
He did show up in Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah. They actually had a comic book tie-in that you guys should go check out. It's basically the 13th Doctor meeting with the Brigadier. And it's a very fun comic. It also goes back to a bunch of moments of past Doctors, even Doctors who didn't meet the Brigadier meeting the Brigadier. And they actually have a scene that I really like. I like the 9th Doctor. I know a lot of people don't. They have when the Brigadier gets sick, which is now part of continuity. He's in the hospital. And the 9th Doctor goes because he wants to say his final goodbyes, but he can't bring himself to do it. That, I thought, was a very touching moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the 10th Doctor does because I don't care.
God, let go of your hate.
He's annoying! And he did The End of Time, which sucked. A lot.
Other speculation is that he's somehow related to the Other.
Or is the Other.
And the Other. Okay.
Oh god, the Other.
So, you know how I talked about not going into continuity? Now we're going into crazy speculation continuity. Rassilon
continuity
and
that-
Omega created Time Lords and time travel through harnessing the Eye of Harmony, and there's a theory that they worked with this guy called the Other, who is apparently a past regeneration of the Doctor in fan
except
theories.
even beyond that, he's not just a past regeneration of the Doctor. He's a separate godlike being who became the Doctor through forces unknown.
Yes, this is basically turning the Doctor into God, though technically Omega was a God-level entity.
And on paper, I think it's actually a pretty good idea, and I think if they had done it right, it could have worked. If it was going in the direction Lungbarrow took it in, yeah, no. No.
More so,
We're losing light.
yes, I would say the speculation is all over the place that he's he's an older version of the Eighth Doctor.
I've heard theories that he's actually the first Doctor before he turned into William Hartnell, which I think would be kind of interesting.
Except they're going for the Time War.
Yeah, I know.
I
know.
Now here's another possibility, because we've established the Time Wars, this thing that they called all available Time Lords. Now, here's the thing: in a crisis such as a Time War, would that be enough
to call in all of the Doctors?
To call in alternate regenerations.
Yeah, because they have been shown to do that.
In moments of crisis, you can cross timelines.
Or sometimes by accident, as we found out with...
and the battle would be big. You wouldn't necessarily have to have them in the same area of space.
Yeah. Like, obviously that happened, because otherwise, how does Matt Smith know?
Because he's in this timeline, as you pointed out to me.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That is true.
And, yeah.
I think we've covered as much speculation as we want to cover. The point is, speculation is good. I would love for it to be one of these other cooler theories. Sadly, I think it's going to be an 8.5 Doctor who...
8.5 regeneration of Theta Sigma.
Yeah. Theta Sigma is not his real name. It's his...
I know, it's not the Doctor.
No,
He's probably still...
I'm explaining for them.
Yes.
You know New Whovians are just watching this and going, Theta Sigma, what the... Omega and the Valiard, what are you talking about, crazy people?
Great vampires.
Great vampire. It's not a great vampire.
If Rassilon's a great vampire, the Other can be a great vampire.
The Rassilon's not a great vampire.
We aren't going into that.
Well, I also don't count the books as proper continuity.
I know he doesn't, and you really can't, because the books are... I'm also not only just going off the books, I'm going off the audio dramas, which are incredibly expensive, but worth it, most of them.
You can probably find pirated versions somewhere. I don't recommend that, though.
The BBC will hunt you down and murder you. They are insane with copyright infringement.
We're not telling you not to do it because, we care about the BBC and whether or not they make
No.
We
They're
care
insane.
about your safety and well-being.
The BBC is insane with copyright infringement.
They do not care about you. They have other fans.
They care about money. I think we're done.
Did we ever get to opinions on Clara?
No. Okay, Clara, opinions. Sucks that she's from modern day. The kids are annoying. She's decent. I'd put her...
Well, here's what I'd say. She's not bad, but she's not especially good.
I would put her in my... She's somewhere in my top 50 favorite companions.
Well, that narrows it down. I'd say in terms of new companions...
companions?
She's not Donna level awesome. She's not even Rory level awesome.
I think she makes it into the top 10.
I'd say she circles somewhere around Mickey.
Where do you put Mickey around
She doesn't have much of a personality.
Fair enough.
That's kind of thing. a lot of it was just her, like, what is she? How does she do all this? Why
Right,
is she here?
when she is outclassed by people like Dorium, you have
Which one's Dorian again?
Blue Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Blue Guy outclasses
Dorian's
her.
awesome.
Right, he is, but, he was a minor character who really milked that role.
Well, I think it's just, I'm more interested to see where they're going with Clara now that they've revealed, like, oh, and now she knows all this stuff about the Doctor that the other companions don't know about.
Right. I don't know.
But in terms of personality, I don't feel like she really has one.
No. And Dorian had personality as a head in a box.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring you back to Blue Guy.
I need to find this spider.
Okay, are we gonna turn this
Yeah.
into the vlog of the hunt for the spider? The
No,
hunt for the red October
I think we're
spider.
done. So, I think we both liked Season 7 okay. I guess I was less irritated with it than you were. Keep speculating, but remember, if you speculate too hard, you're gonna be disappointed when it turns out to be exactly what everyone thinks it is. Star Trek Into Darkness still sucks.
Yes, even though we have Weird Robot Man.
What is he? Okay, we're not getting into that. Did I bring that up in my vlog?
No, you did.
Okay. At some point in the new Star Trek movie, I know where I said we're not getting into that. We're getting into that. Just really quick. At some point in the new Star Trek movie, they had a guy who's a robot. Like,
Yes.
they don't say he's a robot, but he talks like a robot, and he has a thing on the back of his head that looks like a robot. How? There are no androids yet.
Eric Bana.
Fuck Eric Bana.
Because Eric Bana screwed with the timeline. We have androids 100 years before Data now.
And on that note, keep watching Doctor Who, because soon it will be all we have left.
Yes.
Alright.